Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the 10 a.m. Time for Champagne podcast. It is back in the same location that we were at last time for episode 10. We are in a undisclosed Pennsylvania city. We are back with the critic and the host, and today we will be discussing the Carlisle section of the Cumberland Valley Beer Trail. First, we are going to immediately go to our critic and check in on him and see what's up.
Not too much. I'm excited for this episode because we managed to do a lot in one day. And our stats on Untappd just jumped drastically. So it's going to be a good one.
Oh, it for sure is going to be a great episode. And with the mention of Untappd, check our socials down below. Everything is going to be their latest info, website, Twitter, Facebook, all of that is going to be down below. So check us out on everything below. As we're starting with this, we will go right away into what a day and what a time this event was. So, for reference, the Cumberland Valley Beer Trail is one of the central trails that we do quite a bit in regards to research for the breweries that are around the area, go through the challenges, try to get the prizes with some difficulty. That's mainly on their end and trying to get the shipping and everybody to get the prizes, or else no one does. But I get the process. It's maybe not the most fair way to do it when other people are far and beyond us, and for some that are so far behind that they're just doing it. And with that, we're going to do mainly the downtown Carlisle and the city portion there. Main reason for that is there is 9 breweries that we're talking about, 7 of which were done in just one day, and 2 that were done the next week. The reason for that is because of the grand opening of the one that happened the following week, and based on the alphabetical order, that is where we're starting. So for number 1, we are starting with the newest opening brewery in the city of Carlisle. They opened up last Friday, the 2nd of February, 2023, and we are starting with Back Porch Brewing. What a place.
Oh my.
Oh my is indeed the right 2 words to start this with. All those golf girls. So let's get started with our review. So it's not the first time that I've had Back Porch Brewing. One of the places in this list sold some of their beer prior to them opening downtown in Carlisle, and that's where I had my tastings of it beforehand, and so has the critic. So we're going to get started with this list, and the first try, personally, was June 25th, 2022, but the last time we had it was last week, February 4th, and it's the Infringement Lager, the 2022 lager. For reference, wasn't the biggest fan of it at the time. Out of 112 ratings, this has an average rating of a 3.74. I gave it a 0.5. I think it was that great. And we have a 1 to my left, your right. Any thoughts on this lager?
Not on the lager specifically, but the venue itself.
Sure, we can talk about the venue.
I thought it was a pretty nice place. I don't recall many of their beers standing out to me that much. Neither good nor bad in either of those ways. But the venue was pretty nice, and for being as busy as they were as quick as they could be. So service went well. I
Hmm.
enjoyed the music they were playing. It's a nice place. I would definitely go back once the buzz dies down a little bit, and it's probably a little bit less hectic and crowded personally. But I mean, the beers they were, from what I recall, I think I rated them all pretty decently.
I thought it was fine. Went into this place already having a little bit of knowledge. So this brewery did open in 2019, but everyone knows around the world what happened in 2020, 2021. It wasn't easy in those time periods, but 2022 was the first time I heard of this place, and we went parking downtown Carlisle. It's on the city, really. Wasn't really the best parking overall.
But we found the courthouse.
We did find the courthouse and the golf girls. Venue, it was new. It was just opened up. It looked like it was basically a restored sort of dance venue to me. DJ was up right in front, right when you come in the building. The DJ's blaring. There's families just staring at you when you come in, which you know immediately you're kind of getting judged. That's just the layout of the land there. You have to walk down the ramp or down the stairs to get to the bar. And there weren't many hands to handle all the juggling that was going on that day. Uh, Brand new, second day. Maybe the most entertaining part of the experience was the food service.
Food service.
So there was one of the staff members. I'm going with the assumption that this guy was
Oh,
probably the owner. However, when food was being completed by other people and the servers were taking it away, whatever was not touched, one of the staff members, I'm assuming it was the owner, because it seems to me something that may be done to just see what's going on, would be tasting the food and also sampling the beer to make sure that everything was up to snuff, up to standard. To me, with it being the opening weekend and how much traffic there was, that might be the test.
well, he was just walking over to like places that needed cleared off, and he grabbed the baskets, went on to walk back and just be eating it, and he'd throw it away. Then he'd go try some beers, and then he'd just wander around. So I have no idea.
To me, for that sort of part on the service, you're testing your own product, where maybe at the expense of someone else's product, but you're testing your kitchen staff and you're testing your new beer and your new location. I mean, it's fine to do it if you're that level, but if you're just a walk in the park Joe Smo, not a good look. But
I thought it was pretty funny.
I thought it was entertainment. Despite the retro music in the background, despite all the crowds of people at tables, bar side to our right, we were at the end of the bar on the far left. It was mainly just staff just taking a quick breath from how busy the building was and just the life in that building, just bringing people up and making the noise and getting the attention and getting the food. It was also a limited menu as well because, like I said at the beginning of this is only their first full week in Carlisle, so they're running with only flights, drafts, and appetizers. That's it.
Oh, on the off note, count how many times I yawned during this episode. I feel like a certain little guy we usually have that falls asleep after 1 hour.
R.I.P. We are recording on a late night here. We're doing this as quickly as possible, but also as thoroughly as possible to get through this trail and this list to provide the most up-to-date content and to give you what you deserve. Next on this list, after the service, after the first beer that we reviewed here, is the Razzie Raz Kolsch. On the menu, they said it was just a regular, and they went, "Oh, sorry, it's actually Raz." It's my second time having it. I also had it at a different place prior that will be coming up in a little bit here, but I gave it a 1. I thought it was fruity and crisp, and to my right, we had a 0.5.
I don't recall anything about it, really. I remember them telling us that it was something different, but
Yeah, I remember that too. And the week before opening at the different location that was had, they were also selling the peanut butter porter, which is what we started our lunch with and that day with. And not bad. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't a elite or top tier porter, but it got matching twos. 54 ratings, an average of 381.
what I started doing was I give things twos if I think it's like okay or something that I might not drink again. Yeah, that one wasn't too bad.
I thought it was on the lighter side. To me, it was a little bit more mellow. It wasn't terrible. I might try it again to see if it's different, but I gave that one a 2.
It was new and refreshing.
It was. It was like this Bud Light I've had before. Next is the IPA.
No.
Pass. That's fine by me.
So IPAs, I mean, as you guys know, I really don't care for them. Some of them are all right, but I'm not too big into them. But the other night, I went out to a brewery with one of the guys that I work with, and he turns to me and he's like, "So are you an IPA guy?" It's like, "Sorry, what?" That's more of an insult than anything. Yeah, we typically don't go the IPA route.
Not here. Not here. If you're looking for that, sorry, but they're gonna be judged on the way they are. They're really happy. They're really bitter. They're malty. Yeah, sure, it fits the description of what they are, but the taste and that feeling,
Disgusting.
it's not the greatest. Next was the Hefeweizen, 0.75 to 0.25 ratings. I thought it was very heavy hoppy, and it's not what I'm looking for in a hef or in a beer in general. 20 people have reviewed it with an average rating of 3.59. So people are giving their opinions quickly, and it just didn't. It just didn't.
Didn't do it.
Did not do it at all. Next was their House Porter, the Porch Rocker. Love the name theming. If you're naming your beer after your brewery, it's going to be more intriguing. And we got opposing ratings on this guy.
Pretty nice color to it.
It was a pretty nice color. But there was a 1 on this rating.
Typically with like darker beers, if I rate them low, it's because they're not as strong as what I prefer or what I'm looking for.
So we were in the first 40 to ever try this and have it reviewed. I gave it a 2. I thought it was soothing. I thought it was warm. To me, this night, this was probably the second best one from my list. I thought it was warm. Like, to me, that night, I was going down the list, and where I was going was worst to best. And this was on the pedestal, for sure. To me, the best one that night was the Sunrise Oatmeal Stout. It was so comforting, just going down, just the taste of it, the warmth, the comfort. I gave it a high rating because I thought it was that good. I would drink this again and again. 3.5. Average ratings of 382 with 57 reviews thus far versus a 0.75.
So again, it must not have been as dark as what I was looking for. I remember the venue distinctly, but the beers don't really stand out to me that much.
That's all right. And then to wrap up the list, the blonde, the Bessie's Blonde Ale, 0.25 here. It was probably one of the two on the end.
Lightest ones?
Yeah, just didn't do it for me.
No.
Just didn't do it. No.
No thanks.
Matching 0.25s. And then the last one was matching 1.5s, which was the lager, which was Drill Sergeant D.
This, what did I give this? A 0.25?
No, we got matching 1.5s.
1.5.
Mm-hmm. Out of 11 people all time to review it.
On Untappd.
Correct. 3.55.
Yeah, again, they unfortunately don't stick out to me.
That's fine. That's fine. And that wraps that one up. And then the next one that we're going down the list on, to just continue with the trend of downtown Carlisle, is going from new to closed.
Oh. How many do we have there?
4.
Okay.
I at least had 4. You might have had 5 or 6. It might depend on when I look. Because I ordered a flight. Because that's my special. That's my specialty, at least. That's my strength. That's my wheelhouse. That's the place to go. But this one's going best to worst on this one. So it's no longer around. They shut down at the beginning of the year, January 2023. Just sort of out of the blue. Didn't really announce anything was happening, and they were just suddenly gone. The building, the theming is still up, but no more staff, no more sales, none of that. It's all gone. Buys. But I'm starting with the porter, which is called The Lurking in the Shadows. Good name. Bold name. Good spot, good convenience. I gave it a 2, and I had the lowest rating on this one out of everybody's that I am familiar with. 2.5 for you.
Now, were they also the ones that had the goldfish and stuff out?
Correct. Yes. Yes. So this place would graciously just give out snacks for customers that were sitting in and trying stuff out. This place also gave out coupons for people that had just the drafts to then respend it on another draft at a discounted rate.
You can get your card punched, I think is what it was.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was in the summer of 22. Any thoughts on this guy? 2.5?
No, we've gotten to the point where we've tried so many things where there's a very few that stand out to me. If anything, I remember more things about venues themselves, how the staff were, my overall experience. But a lot of the beer kind of gets mixed together with everything we've drinking so far.
I agree. It's also been a little bit since this one was sort of punched in, because our experience and our comfort level with that area, it's so great that we go back so often. So that was that one. And then to just sort of run down this list quickly, the Red Devil, 0.75. It was a strong American ale, 0.25 on the critics' end, just showing the logo and what it looked like at the time, since they're no longer in
service. Were they also the ones that had the cocktails? The beer cocktails?
Nope.
Somewhere else?
Nope. This one was just the snacks.
Okay.
The snacks and the coupon. That one is coming up in a bit. Next was the IPA, obvious low rating, and then the Belgian Blonde, matching obvious low ratings. It just didn't hit. 0.25s all around on this guy here. on the Bird's Nest group. Next on the list, as we're continuing to go down this in alphabetical order, is Desperate Times Brewing Company in Carlisle. This one is probably going to be best known amongst us two for some social media controversy. Do you remember what you posted in Breweries in PA?
Oh, is this the officer?
Yes, it was. That's this group. Yes, it was.
This is one where we walked about 1.5 miles to get there.
We did walk about 1.5 miles from downtown Carlisle on foot there, and then back to keep on trying stuff on this day. So I'm going to start with the headliner since I'm already going this way. Officer Kinky Thompson. 0.25. Not great. It's a pale ale.
So the police officer from Tennessee that was married and then was with all the other guys in the department. I edited this beer into her photo, and I put it in one of the Facebook groups that we're a part of for beer and such. But it got removed because it violated. But it is a PA beer, and I showed it. Just did so in a different way.
Violate. Violate. Banned. Not allowed. You can't do that. What's this about? So
No
that one got a 0.25. I'm just going up and down this list here to go from sort of worst to best on this one. The German Weizen, 0.25, 0.5.
I can't say I remember. The only one I remember is the one that I edited there.
I know. It was next to the fairgrounds and it was next to the high school. So it looks like it's basically surrounded by mud from the parking lot. But inside it was clean, it was modern, it was up to date.
I definitely agree with
that.
The
staff was great. The women on staff, because it was only women this day, all in the flannels, just going back and forth, helping out the other guys and families that were there. They were great. Great hands all around, just checking in, chit-chatting. They had foot volley on TV.
I do remember that.
So it was quite the background entertainment that was available. And we were just like, well, we're going to keep this on. So they just went about their own way.
We got a new koozie, too, from them.
We did.
There's another one to add to the collection.
That should be a whole episode in and of itself. Just every koozie that we have, we go through, and if we've had it or not and what we think. That'd be a fun one to do. Be a lot of props. But I got a list. The Belgian Double, I gave a 3. I thought that was one of their best beers. On tap versus 0.25. Their porter, the robust porter, it was really dark. It was really comforting. You gave it a 1. I gave it a 3.
It's not really much back for me.
The only comment is that.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Galaxy
this day
IPA.
was so lengthy with everything we tried and all the places we traveled to. But I mean, it's hard with all the other places we've been to now outside of this day. So it all kind of runs together.
Oh, I know.
What was this, number 3 out of 9?
Yes. Yeah, we're just a third through. The Mystery Pale Ale 0.5 to 0.25, 62, 381 wasn't great. The Stout 2, you gave it 2.5. Only comment was pretty good.
So it must have met my expectation then. Interesting can there.
Very interesting can. That luck is not bad. That was not bad. This was the one place I found thus far in our adventures that they gave out flights of 6
Yes.
because we
And
tried
we got
all
an extra
12.
one.
That's right. That's right. There was a double pour. So this, to me, this place kind of stood out from just the look of it, the walk down, the walk back. It just provided so much. The stout, the Honest Lawbreaker Stout. You gave that a 2.5. I'll let you speak on this one because I gave it a lower rating because I thought it wasn't that great.
So it had a good flavor to it, and it was dark enough to my liking. That's what I remember with that one.
Yeah, I mean, sure, that's fine. It just different taste on this one. The Black Forest Schwarz beer, 1.5 to 2. It was a dark lager. They had a lot of darker beers, and for the style drinks that we have, darker is better. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. 1.5 to 2.5 on this one. The German Weizen already said 0.25, and then the Pilsner 0.5 to 0.25. So that covers Desperate Times. To keep going down this list was dinner, and that was at the Grand Illusion Cidery.
So the cidery had quite a lengthy line. I remember that much.
Unbearably long.
But as far as like, well, actually, I can't even say the food was really that good. The drinks were okay. They were cheap for the most part.
Yeah, they were fine. So I got a cider flight for whatever reason. Everything that I'm looking at for my research says that I only had 4, when I, for some reason, remember there being 4 beers and 4 ciders.
Forgot the log.
That's possible. That's possible. If that's the case, then my stats are incorrect because I only have reviewed the ciders this day. Yeah. I didn't think the ciders were that good.
I personally didn't care for them that much either.
Same with you. Only the ciders were reviewed.
So
Interesting.
Which one did we forget to do then?
I, for some reason, remember there being a cider flight and a beer flight this day.
I remember that too.
I got the chicken bacon ranch flatbread, and I thought it was fine. It wasn't great, because these were the 4 correct ciders that I had, and the ratings are just. Because the Blue Illusion was 0.25, the pineapple was a 1, the London pub cider was a 0.25, wasn't good at all, it was bitter, and the hibiscus was a 0.5.
I do remember there were 2 different flights there, but
So do I.
I just forgot to log someone.
Because even my photos that I have from that day even prove
2 different ones.
there's 8 and there's 4 here. Well, time to do some digging after this to figure out what I'm missing, and the info will be added when there's a conclusion based on their menu list for what happened and what was had that day. But there was 8 drinks, 8 from the flight, 4 ciders, 4 beers. Nothing impressed me.
No, nothing stood out to me either.
The only thing that I would consider going back to this place for is maybe to see how different it is on the first floor for dining compared to the second, and the escape rooms on the third floor.
It is nice how they have options there for different activities and different things that if you want to do those things, as well as the brewery. I wouldn't mind going back, but we'll see. It's not at the top of my list.
It's not at the top of mine either. There's more that's around there that's on the top of my list. And the next one, continuing this sort of trend in the town, is going back to where we were at the beginning of this list and circling back to the original location of where I had a few previous, and that is Hook and Flask Distillery.
Number 4, number 5.
So this was number 1 on the day, but out of the list, we're at number 5. So this was where lunch was. This is where we got the stickies.
I do remember the stickers.
So do I. And
oh my goodness,
what a time! Another shot to this Jans and Yinzer.
At Hook and Flask, there was a promotion through the Cumberland Valley Beer Trail where if you got a shot of a certain distilled spirit, you would get a free sticker. So we got free stickers for that place, and they were actually really well designed and pretty nice looking, in my opinion.
I agree.
So we just popped in, I think had 1 or 2, and then went to the next destination because we've been there already.
We've been there multiple times, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the top of my list because I'm not really a how should I say this, a distillery fan of sorts when it comes to stuff like this. I'm just trying to look up what was had this day. So the Liquid Lust peanut butter porter that we mentioned from Back and Porch was had here. The Luminous Golden Stout White Chocolate Macadamia.
Did I give this one a good rating? I don't recall. So this one I give it 3 out of 5. I think I do remember that one being good overall beer. Oh, that's why. So the color of it is also extremely light compared to what you would typically get. You typically get like a dark beer. This was classified as a dark beer, but when it came out in the glass, I thought they had it wrong because it's like see-through. So the surprise plus the taste of it, put those two things in. Oh, excuse me, that's how I got my rating there.
Sorry, I just found something that I want to show you off air. Yeah, I gave it a 1.5. I didn't think it was as great as it was made out to be by my partner. I thought it was tame. I just thought it was light. To me, when I'm thinking of a stout, I'm looking for something heavy and comfortable and soothing. And to me, I got something light, and that's okay. Rusty Rail, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that I'm not going to say no ever again. Maybe it was the draft. Maybe it's different in a can.
We don't have beef with them. They're okay.
We don't. We haven't gone that direction yet for stuff like that. The next one on this list is something that I've not had, and only you and 6 others have had, and it's the chocolate tiramisu Space Monkey from Fegley's Brewworks in Allentown.
What?
Then,
oh yeah, that's as dark as they'll come. I definitely would drink that. Did I take that photo or is it someone else?
no, this one is from Julie. What's up, Jules?
I don't recall much about it, but it's weird that you didn't have it though, because typically we swap back and forth.
Maybe I missed this. You gave it a 1.
Oh, okay.
And everybody else that was there that day might have had it, might not have. I'm just skimming back through one of the least frequent users here quickly, just to sort of see that night
It pops up
in a nutshell, because I'm not remembering this, because this was the birthday night. Yeah, I'm a little puzzled as to why I'm not seeing this one pop up for me either, but never know. It might have just been so quick and so late that it was just a skipped log, which I could easily see be a thing that happened here.
I mean,
And that's
potentially.
fine. That's fine. I'm not going to say no to a personal error on something that was logged, but it's just not jumping out.
So what does that bring us to? 7?
Uh, it it does.
I'm excited to get to the end here because I want to talk about something then.
Yeah, no, the other ones, the other members of the party that night did not review it. Just you. What else was had? The juicy hazy mango from Lindgren in Duncannon. 0.25 wasn't that good. And then the infringement logger, as mentioned at the beginning. So that completes the first half of the alphabet. We are now down to the final 4 remaining. Market Cross.
So Market Cross. Overall, we actually found this place on accident because it was part of the trail, but we didn't think it was going to turn out to be as good as it was. And they have like a 4-page beer menu. You can just flip through. There's things from all over the world, all over the state, other states. Um, it's a really good way to branch out and try new things if that's the direction you want to go in. Excuse me. So yeah, also the passport that we're getting involved with, we're trying to complete. That's available there for an extra $1.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this a little more. What do people need to do to complete it?
Off the top of my head, there's 2 levels.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one's like 89 beers or something like that. But there's different like steps you got to take to get that 89. And then the second one is 94 or something.
I think it's backwards.
Or,
So to complete level 2, it's to drink 89,
89.
since it's the 89th World Tour in 2023. Level 1, it is to complete 5 house beers, which they only sell 5 of in house, 5 imports, 1 cider, 1 beer cocktail, and then 1 beer from each individual state that they sell on draft to get a free custom designed Market Cross shirt.
which we knocked out a few states when we were there.
We did. We tried to cheat.
Yeah, we thought we could bounce back and forth. Like I got one state, he would get the next, but we only got signed off for what we got a full bottle or glass of, and that was that. So we have a long ways to go.
We do. So averaging it out right now, since we missed a week already into the new year, we have quite a bit to catch up on. Indeed, we do. So in the summer, when we first found it through the trail and just going on a whim, we enjoyed it so much that we went week after week after week to bring people out, to hang out with us, to see this place and check it out, because it's an English style pub. Just there, it's impressive. It's amazing. It's got everything. It's got the entire globe in one room, and you can you can hang out there the whole night. They're open till like 11 or midnight most nights of the week, and just swig those things just back and forth. Going down the list here in the overall history of what was had that night, and the multiple nights, because I'm just running down this list as quickly as I can. The chocolate volcano was first. matching threes here on this Imperial Stout from Baltimore.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that one was a good one.
Yeah, oh yeah. Given that we both gave it a 3, that was something. Somebody had a house IPA, the Old Market Yeller.
No,
You gave it a 1.
I'd rather stay away from the whole IPA thing. Some of them weren't as bad as others.
We're gonna have to have this again to complete the challenge.
Well, I will get it done.
Challenge will get done. It's accepted. The Midsummer's Night Wheat Beer. 0.25. 1.5. To me, this one was their best one that they made themselves out of the house ones. Which, it's better to drink around the world there. The Pub Daddy Pale Ale 0.25. Not good. You gave it 0.25 twice. I gave it a 1 twice. We know how we feel about pale ales.
Yeah, a lot of mine are 0.25s, but if it's a decent beer, it's going to be a 2 or higher. Or if it's on the verge of being like a go-to for me in the future, I'll put a little bit below 2.
So the next one is from Under the Bridge Cidery in Lebanon. And it's called the Elderflower. I gave it a 3.5. I thought it was really good. And it was at our favorite spot.
I don't think I cared for this one, but what
175 saying decent.
Okay, so it must have been all right then.
That's one place to go look at in Lebanon.
There's just so many things we've tried.
Yeah, like this crazy next one, Bud Light.
What's that about?
I'm feeling this bar.
June 25th, 2022. Or is that 6?
Yep, 2022.
Nice.
You still feeling this bar?
I am. I'm feeling that bar right now.
Next was the Molson Triple X. The XXX Molson XXX. 2 versus 3. I thought it was really good. It was really strong. Was comfortable with this guy. It was a lager. The red stripe was next. It was I believe a Jamaican beer. It's Jamaican.
Oh, it's Jamaican?
It's a Jamaican lager. This guy. Matching 1s.
I thought it was drinkable, but it wasn't like enjoyable. Like I wouldn't want that every day or want a whole case of that. So I don't. I will upload this stuff.
If my memory is right, this was one of the cans that was taken in the bag to go.
Yes, it was.
Oh, what a legend. What a legend.
I bet that can's in it. we had so many beers at this place.
Next
it's like 4 pages long.
Next is the 420 Sweet Extra Pale Ale.
I didn't think that one was too good.
And
it had like chunky almost.
It had all this weed. All this weed in it. Next was one of my favorites on the night. It was the Sour Me Unicorn Farts. It was just in a can, and it was glitter. It was glitter all the way through. It also went in his beer.
Glitter was in the beer. Like you can take your flashlight and you can see little particles floating around. I don't know how they pulled that one off. But.
That's from Dewclaw, which is in Maryland. The next week, it was the San Miguel from UK. It was a lager, matching 0.25s. Then it was the Shiner Bock, Also matching 0.25. This one's from Texas. It's from Spotzel, but was in our lovely little shack. The watermelon goss from Terrapin was next. Absolutely not.
So that one must have been horrible.
It must have been. I gave it a 1.5 because I thought it was fine because of the watermelon flavor and just the sweetness of the watermelon. Elephant Lager. I think this one was also in my beard. 1 and 0.25, so not that great. This one was from Denmark. Next is the Cookies and Cream Stout from Rotunda. 2.5.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
The Guinness Smithwick's was next. I am not seeing your name on this one.
I don't know if I had it.
You did,
Oh,
275. It's an Irish ale, and it was the red one, so it was fine. The Chocolate Duborge Cake Stout. The Cocoa Nib one.
Yeah.
This one was elite. Just the small little can. The small little bottle and the little glass. I thought this one was fantastic. What was your rating?
Which one?
This one. You gave it a 2. A 2. A 2. You had it 3 times and you gave it a 2.
Oh, yes, because I would accidentally order that by mistake. I'd see it on the menu and be like, I've never had this. I'd order it, and then it turns out I've already had it.
3 times.
So now I remember for next time. That's why it's on there 3 times.
Yeah, I remember that one. The Young's Double Chocolate Stout was next. And it was so bad that I didn't even drink it. And you said it's the worst stout you ever had.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned worst stout I've ever had. We're getting there at the end of the episode.
We're gonna have a worst off at this rate.
What do we have left?
Sorry, England.
Numbers 8 and number 9?
Yep. Sorry, no, we have 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9.
Yes.
Because we have had a lot at these places, so it's pretty lengthy.
Next to me, I think, was the best beer I had in 2022. The French Toast Devil Dog Stout.
I agree. That one did have a good flavor to it, and the extra flavors of the French toast with the syrup, especially the syrup, there was that note in there.
It was... I don't throw this rating out for any reason besides honesty. And every profile, every note hit. This was the best beer I had in 2022. From the French Toast Devil Dog from Browick Brewing Company in Marshall, Michigan.
Interesting.
5 stars. I don't say 5. Almost ever, unless you're a Bud Light Lime or Bud Light Seltzer.
The 5 stars are very rare.
They're very rare. That's how high my standard is. And this one hit that standard. Let's keep going up this list because there's a lot on this list. The Beer Geek Breakfast. Well, we had matching too, so this one obviously worked out in our favor. Do you remember this night now?
I do.
When we were barside?
My the little notes that I leave myself are they remind me of things that happened at the bar. And this one, there was a guy that got this and let us try. It was a random guy. He was like, "Here, take a sip. I don't care." It's like, all right, well, we'll try it because we love logging new things. So yeah, I do remember that.
Just take a sip. I remember that one.
I think I'm starting to feel like this deserves its own episode.
Oh, I know.
Because we're still going, and there's probably like at least 100 beers left of just Market Cross.
I know. Do you want me to just stop here? Because we're still in July.
Yeah, and we have 2 more places to review yet.
We three. We have 3. One will probably take 30 seconds.
Because this is a long one.
I know. I know.
I think we might have to. This was like the intro, but I think we might have to make that its own little.
Okay. I'll stop there. I'll stop at. I have the COVID shot.
And that was the second time we went, or third.
Third.
Yeah, and if that's only the third time we went, then
Third, because we went the first time alone. We went the second time with sorry, it's in my beard, and then we went for the birthday celebration weekend.
yes. So there's a lot.
There's a lot of stories on this one. There's a lot. And we're only at 3, and it's only the mid of 2022.
And I think it deserves its own thing for how lengthy
Okay,
that topic is.
that's fine. We will cut there, and we will go to Molly Pitcher, aka beer cocktails.
Okay, which I didn't care for.
I knew that was going to be the response.
They were legitimately nasty.
That started sorry.
My goodness, how many of these did we have?
11. We had 11 of these guys because a couple of them were the mix of the cocktail where we rated it as just the beer mixed in with the cocktail.
Okay.
So we double reviewed some of them based on what was had. But I'm just going to go right to the best one that day and maybe cut this into a separate episode as well.
Because our 4 discussion before doing this was I didn't think through how many beers we've actually had at some of these places.
Oh, we've had quite a bit. I'm trying to find one where it's magic. Okay, the Black Powder Stout was the highest rated one. Which I think this one was also in a cocktail as well, because it was 3.5.
I do think it was in a cocktail.
But solo matching 3.5.
I don't remember this now, but it must have been good. And especially if this was the summertime, because, as I said earlier, I don't tend to drink darker beers in the summer because it's not the same as drinking them in the winter or whenever it's colder outside. But if I gave it that high of a rating, it must have been good, especially considering that time of year.
Yeah, this was July 2022. So it was the first day of the month, and it was surprisingly good. It was impressive. It was impressive. So I'll only leave that one there to be the top dog, and I'll leave that one to be separate. The one that's going to take 2 seconds, 7 dots.
So, first off, this was a little pizza place.
Correct.
It took forever to get served. Like, we walked in, just sat at the bar, and they saw us sitting there, didn't come out and say anything. They want you to get up and then go over to the counter to order. If there would have been a sign or something stating that, then we would have just done that right away. But instead, they let us sit there and wait until we decided just to walk over to the counter.
Mm-hmm.
So that started off my impression that I didn't really care for the place. But then also the beer wasn't that great.
Correct.
So I don't see a need to go back.
We had a brown ale and we had a stout. And that's what they called it. Brown ale
And stout.
That's it.
So there's no creativity there, and there wasn't much craft, in my opinion.
I agree, and it kind of showed in our ratings. They weren't great. I think they were under 2, maybe under 1.5. It just didn't hit at all. And it's unfortunate for being such a small and little niche place, especially not on the main strip, to just be boring. Now, the last one on this list, I'm going to let you pop off. Vegetable Hunter.
So, Vegetable Hunter is a place where where the food is like no meat, so there's other like substitutes and stuff. So the first time we went was because we were participating in a beer trail, so we went to the one in Harrisburg. Excuse me. And honestly, I didn't think the beer was that great. But what really got me going was it was a dark beer. I can't remember if it was either stout or a porter. But I think it's called Ichabod Crane's Got the Shakes or something like that. But it's supposed to be a darker beer. Now, I ordered one, and then someone else ordered one. Our flights were poured at the exact same time. We took them up, and we sat upstairs, and we laid out our drinks. And again, they were poured at the same time. They sat at the same time. But the one was a real light color, and then the other one was darker. However, they both tasted absolutely horrendous. Like it was not good. And the difference in coloration and the fact that they sat for the same amount of time, so it had time to settle. If it was going to change colors, I gave it that opportunity, but it did not. They were the different colors and just didn't taste great. So that was my first impression. I never thought I'd go back to one again. But then we were doing this new trail, and there's one out in Carlisle. So we stopped in just to have a few of the ones we haven't had before. And along came the owner over to our table. And he asked us how we liked the beer and what we're into and everything. We told him how we like sours. So what he did was he went back and he had something that wasn't even for sale yet. It was what kind of sour was it?
So as I'm switching through, you were correct on the name. It was the Ichabod Got the Shakes.
Well, see, it's
You were
because
correct.
it was so bad that I remember it. You either have to be really good or really bad that I remember. And what the heck did I say? Oh, you already switched it? Well, anyways, that was so bad that I remembered that name off the top of my head. Out of all the over 1,000 some different beers that I've had. Yeah, so I said, so these are the same beer, they were poured at the same time, and they have sat the same amount of time in order to see if there would be a color change. Yet there was no change. They also taste absolutely terrible. Very disappointed, highly do not recommend. Which, that's fair. I don't recommend that. But then we meet the owner the second time around, which was like several months later and at a different location. And he goes and he taps his Mango Peach Love Buzz. It was amazing. We do like our sours, and the fact that we were some of the first people to try this, it made it really unique. And there was no bias because of those things. It was legitimately a really good beer, and we actually both. Well, I gave it a 4, and looks like Zach gave it a 4.5. But yeah, it was that was a good experience, and he seems like a nice guy. I don't really care for that dark beer of his, but that sour, whenever that comes out, I would go back and I'd get more of that. It was refreshing. It had a good flavor to it. It was very well done.
So the Mango Peach Love Buzz, continuing to add to the owner story, as this one is one of my all-time favorites. Do you know how much we paid for it?
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, they were on the house.
It was fantastic. His interaction with us, he came over, talked to us, and he asked us what we were here for. And he said, "Oh, we're here for the beards." And he goes, "Oh, I see that." And just whips out this new sample. And at the time of arrival at the building, which was now a few weeks ago, was the end of January of 2023, we were one of the first 5 or 6 people to ever sample this beer. Now, 2 weeks later, looking back, we're still not even at number 10.
So it's very rare that people have gotten to try this.
1 in 9 people. We're 2 of the 9 ever to sample this. So it's kind of a crown jewel moment at this point, and also it getting relatively matching over 4 ratings out of 5. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was freaking fantastic. Must try. This one is a must. Go for it, please. Just quickly running down the rest of this list. The brown ale afterwards, 3 to 4.5. Average rating of 377 out of 13 to ever try that. Relatively shocking. IPA, don't care. Belgian Strong, don't care. Red Ale was unimpressive. The Festa beer, it was fine. For it to get a 2.5, it's impressive in and of itself. It was good. It wasn't terrible. You gave it a 1, which was fine. Belgian Strong, didn't care whatsoever. Red Ale, The Farmhouse Ale, IPA, IPA, an IPA,
A lot of IPAs there.
Yeah, last year when we went, so we've gone to 2 different locations, 2 different calendar years. The first time we went, we got the food. And at that point in time, the food was better than the beer. I got a mac and cheese bread bowl with pesto on top. Thought it was quite good. It was the least standard item on their menu. And then this past year, we've gone, and this brewery, this hit. The owner was fantastic. Wonderful gentleman. First class, salt of the earth, just humble, welcoming man. Just blew me out of the park in regards to the impression that was left by him. Just the soft, small market focus and concentration. That is what this mission is about. And Vegetable Hunter hit it. And for maybe being the most undietary place that we go ever,
Yeah.
they did it. They did justice. Congratulations, Vegetable Hunter. That covers the full list of the 9 Carlisle beers that we have done.
Yet again, we'll have to come back to that one because I didn't realize how many we have had there.
We have more stories. We have more coming. More trips to go to.
Yep, it's just taking us into the future here.
It is. It's going to make this a very special mission and a very special year in regards to the way the world and the clock goes behind me. So with that, that is all that I've had for this episode content-wise. Is there anything else that you think needs noted from the Cumberland Valley Beer Trail in Carlisle specifically? Because I'm not touching the other parts of the trail.
I don't believe so.
Because there is more of this trail to do. More is coming on that. More content is coming to you as well from us here at the 10 a.m. Time for Champagne family. I can proudly and confidently say that. Follow us down below. All of our info is there. And peace out.